Right, let's have a conversation right now with Representative Austin Scott. He is representing the 8th District of Georgia. He's a member of the House Ag Committee, member of the House Armed Services Committee too, right, Congressman?
That's right. That's
okay,
right. Well, I saw your Senator Joni Ernst yesterday. Great advocate for you out there.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Welcome to AgriTalk, sir. Thank you so much for making time.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Okay, so the hearing last week on the climate crisis, some legislation being considered to get to net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. So, like I said at the open of the show, Congressman, some of your comments have been, I think, right on the mark as far as the industry, the ag industry. What do we need to understand about this goal, this potential legislation?
Well, the first thing that we need to understand is that the people that are driving the agenda on the left, the Environmental Defense Fund and others, they do not like production agriculture. If they had their way, everything would be small organic farms, and certainly we had a farmer from Georgia that was a part of the hearing, and he does farm that way. I would tell the American citizens that a small chicken he sells for $20.99 on his website, and 4 dozen eggs for $30. And so there's a certain segment of America that is extremely wealthy and is capable of paying those prices. But if you want to walk into a grocery store and buy a rotisserie chicken for $6, then you need to understand the end result of these environmental policies that they want to apply to the farm is the end of that. It's the end of that $6 chicken, rotisserie chicken at the grocery store.
Right, Congressman. One thing that I don't understand, and I'm sure that there is a reason that a lot of times the term organic and sustainability are combined and put together in one. I look at some of the organic and I've got nothing bad to say about organic producers. Okay, let's get that straight.
Absolutely.
If consumers want organic foods for one reason or another, and these organic producers can fill that demand and make a premium for their product, good for them. That's awesome. But I don't see how organic and sustainability go together, and we need to find that sustainable source of an affordable, safe food supply going forward, not a $20 chicken.
That's absolutely right. And so the impact, when they talk about this, they say, oh, well, it will only cost pennies more to produce. Well, if we're honest about what the farmer actually gets out of what we pay for the groceries, when we leave the store, the sales tax on our grocery bill is typically higher than the actual farm revenue from the products that we purchase at the grocery store. So they only want to get a little bit more of that. And if you increase the cost of operations on the farm, we're at a point, as you know, with corn just above $3 and cotton in the 60-cent range. We're looking at tremendous challenges throughout the ag economies and the rural America economies, because agriculture is where rural America's economy is founded. And so you can't just keep putting things on the back of the farmer. Now, if there are things that make sense, then I can tell you farmers are good stewards of the environment. And if there are things that are cost effective, then that makes it a good business decision, and farmers will do that. And we want to see them doing those things. We just don't want it mandated from Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Congressman, I'll admit, one of the reasons I wanted to get you on the show to talk about the climate issues and some of these issues is because you seem to be keenly focused on the profitability of agriculture. And profitability is part of that sustainability word again. If you're not profitable, you're not sustainable. Where does that focus come from?
I'm just from the South. I mean, I'm from the farm, and so I recognize that if the bills don't get paid, then the tractor doesn't run in the field. And as you look at what's happening across the country, I mean, you're in the Corn Belt. I mean, 5 years ago, corn was almost twice what it is today. Yeah. Maybe it was 6 years ago. But there's only so much that you can squeeze out and still have American farmers planting the crops that feed the world. And so I think we're at a breaking point with that. My district's probably been hurt a little more than others because we lost so much capital when Hurricane Michael came through a few years ago, and then it took well over a year to get any type of disaster relief to our people. And so we've lost a tremendous amount of capital, not because we don't know how to grow the crops, but because of natural disasters. And then, our production numbers have been good, but the markets that we're selling into are giving us a price that quite honestly, if we don't hit the yields that are close to record yields, then we're still upside down. And so there's no margin left. And while we've typically seen it across the country with a couple of commodity groups, it seems that it's every commodity group right now. And so I'm just very concerned that if we don't get some things done over the next few months, another round of MFP is something that I'm advocating for. Now let's be honest. MFP is not the long-term solution to the crisis that we have in farm income in this country. These are short-term solutions, but we have got to get the farm gate value of our products high enough that good farmers can make their bills if they're doing their job, and we're not there right now.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. And when part of the issue there is that the COVID pandemic has exposed some of the vulnerabilities of the supply chain.
That's right.
And I know that you've got some great concerns over foreign ownership of the U.S. food supply. Address that.
That's right. So it's not just the foreign ownership; it's them injecting things into our food supply. Certainly, if you look at the federal agents have seized a tremendous amount of pork in the last couple of months coming into the country illegally. As you know, you've got African swine flu is out there in China and other parts of the world, and so we have to protect our food supply from those invasive diseases, invasive species, if you will. We've seen now where people are receiving packets of seed from China. They're unmarked. They didn't order them. Certainly, if you look at what the python has done to the Everglades and the destruction of that habitat, we have to be very careful in this country of what we bring into our country and the damage that it can do to our food supply. So that's an area where I do think that Americans are starting to pay more attention to the vulnerability of the food supply and the potential for whether it's disease or seeds coming in our habitat that create long-term destruction to our food supply. That's an area I don't think we talk enough about. I don't think we talk enough about China and Syngenta and effectively there's no other way to call it other than monopolization of the raw materials, the chemicals that we use, the seed that we use in ag production.
Right.
And so as we talk about it from pharmaceuticals, we need to make sure we're talking about it from ag production as well.
Yes. See, Congressman, you're talking about things that I think are going to be very important conversations. They should be had now, but if they're not had now, they're going to be had in the future, and they're going to be very important. That's why I've been keeping tabs on your comments, and we're going to continue to do that. I hope you'll come back and share some of your thoughts again in the future.
Hey, glad to. Y'all keep the faith. Thank you so much.